So who here drinks coffee? Everyone, right? Well, you know my mom does. Well, who knows the differences in coffee roasts? So there are 4 different coffee roast categories that we're going to talk about today. We have light, medium, medium dark, and then dark. I'm going to tell you the acidity level for each and the bitterness level. I hope by the end of my presentation you'll be able to recognize the different coffee roasts next time you're out shopping and choose the one that's best for you. So the first roast we'll talk about is a light roast. It's also known as a blonde roast. You can tell it's a blonde roast bean by the color of the bean itself. It's going to be like a really light caramel color for the blonde beans. These light roasts, they have more of a toasted grain taste, and they're really high on the acidity level. They are the least bitter out of all the coffees though, and they surprisingly have a higher caffeine content than the other roasts due to its roasting process. The next roast is the medium roast. The medium roast beans are going to be slightly darker in color than the blonde roast beans, but not by much. The medium roast coffee, it exhibits a more balanced flavor and acidity level, meaning that it's going to have some acidity to it when you drink it, but it's not going to be like the blonde roast. You're not going to taste it in the back of your mouth like you would the blonde roast. It has a slightly less caffeine level than the blonde roast, and it has a kind of a slightly sweet aftertaste to it. The third roast is a medium dark. So the beans for the medium dark roast are going to they're going to be darker. They're going to be like chocolate colored almost. And these beans have a slight oily sheen on them. Not as much as the dark roast beans do, but they're going to look kind of oily if you open up the bag. The medium dark roast, the flavors and aromas are more full-bodied in this coffee, meaning that the taste is stronger. And this roast has little to no acidity to it and has a very bittersweet aftertaste. So you're getting into a bitterness here a little bit, but the medium dark roast does seem to be a favorite for most people just because of its full-bodied flavor. The last roast is the dark roast. So the beans for the dark roast are going to look really oily when you open up the bag. They're going to feel oily too. And they have like a dark chocolate color to them. I believe they also, like those chocolate covered espresso beans, I think they use the dark roast beans for those too. This coffee is the most bitter, with a significantly less amount of caffeine than the light roast, and it has a strong smoky flavor and no acidity. People have also reported dark roast to have almost a burnt flavor to them, but the dark roast does seem to be really, really popular for most people. Maybe just because of the stronger taste, or they like the smoky flavor. So, as you can see, there is a lot to consider when you're choosing what coffee is right for you. Whether you want a light flavor with more caffeine, or maybe something a little bit more balanced like the medium roast. Whatever you choose, you can't go wrong with a good cup of coffee.